good evening, and welcome to the live echo. Welcome to Pepper's Echo. Good to be with you guys again. For those watching, hello, thank you for watching. For those who are watching on the rerun, thank you for the rerun, guys. I really, really appreciate it. My name's Andre, and we're, I chat about things that I've just seen along the news. I don't really find anything too hectic this week. But as and what we'll find, I will dig up, and I don't really do anything researched or calculated or anything like that about it. I actually just do questioning a layman's point of view from the outside looking in. As always, I suggest to you guys, if you are looking for facts, I try to be honest about it and find the facts as well, but if you're looking for a deeper dive, let's put it that way, I always suggest that you actually go along and find a Ronaldo Jose. Check out his channel. He's really good. I follow that quite intently. Chris Wyatt, also a good chap. Enjoy him as well. Joe Emilio, Germ, and then, of course, last but not least, let's put it that way, is Morning Shot with Ramon Cabernac. These guys, I'll hook them in the description or the comments below so that you are able to find their channels as well. But really important. So how's your week been? Mine's been pretty quiet. Nothing much going on. Although we're not under heavy lockdown here in Cambodia, these schools are currently closed. So being in the teacher's position, we still go to school. We still teach online, but we don't have any children coming to school. We were hoping for the kids to be able to come back this week, but unfortunately, it is not going to be so as such. So, what I can do before I carry on, please like and subscribe. It's the only way that I get my channel and the news going out on my channel and what we chat about. Please like and subscribe. If you feel that there is anything that you would like me to discuss, to look at, if you'd like to come onto the show, or anything to that effect as well, maybe talk about something. Doesn't have to be political, can be social, can be hobby. It doesn't have to be South African, it doesn't have to be Cambodian, can be anything in the world. Doesn't matter if it is South African. Anything interesting at all, maybe that we could share with the rest of the viewers, would really appreciate dropping us a mail at Pepper's Echo, P-E-P-R-S Echo @gmail.com. Yes, it does miss an E. It is supposed to miss an E. It's the only way I could get it up. Hopefully we will get the email up. Next time I'll give it some Viagra and it'll be up again. Now, anyway, don't worry about that one. But yes, please like and subscribe. And yes, if there is something, drop us an email. Would really appreciate it. So, and yes, I have a little bit of a new backdrop. Yeah, thanks to my darling wife, who decided that I look like I'm sitting in a lunatic asylum. And I don't have a window behind me anymore. So just to make it a little bit less eyesore, she actually zapped up some pictures for me. Going to look for a little bit of a shelf so that I can actually get something behind me as well. Put some of my collectibles and stuff up as well. But yes, moving on swiftly, as they would say. Looking today, we're going to take a look at last week, Sunday, the DA was reported in the Sunday Times as saying they would work with a coalition ANC government, which of course gave the DA a new form of bowel movement, because that is not what they said. But we'll take a look at that. And then, of course, old Musi Maimane, he went and weighed in his 2 cents worth as well, which we'll take a look at as well. Don't quite agree with this man so much. I don't think his views were ever aligned with the DA, and I think he was hoping to probably sway the party differently to what he wanted it to be, or to what the party stands for. And that's why he is no longer with the party, because he just led them down the garden path instead of up to victory. I do believe that John Steenhuisen's doing a pretty good job about keeping it up as diverse as humanly possible and leading the country in the right direction. Once again, I want to reiterate the fact that last week's one, the ANC is definitely, and I can see it in every single time something comes up, they create the rift, they create the how should I say, the friction between the people. The people on the ground are wanting to go ahead. They're tired of this. I can see they're pretty tired of it. But the propaganda and the friction consistently gets created by the ruling party, the ANC, which is, sadly, it's a cancer that they put into their own people, their own country, the country that they need to pull together. If we've got some time, I do have some tweet beats which I put on the slideshow as well. But if we have some time later on, or before we finish, we will trawl a few of the Twitter statements there. I see old Bobo Carl Nias, Coco the Clown. Really, what an idiot. Has also got an egg to lay along the line. I don't know where that man's intelligence went. You know what? But yeah. We'll talk about that one sometime as well. So to start off with, we take a look at that. We take a look at, the DA. The DA's shout back at the Sunday Times. We take a look at old Musimani's 2 cents worth. We take a look at doctors. My goodness me. The Cuban doctors have been nominated by South Africa for a Nobel Prize. I'm not saying they're bad or anything to that effect. I'm just saying, no, fine. And then, of course, something that has stuck its ugly head up. Coca-Cola says, be more black. Take a look where that came from, what it is actually meant, and what the repercussions of that are. Then just a couple of little picks and pulls from Twitter, etc., etc. But let's take a look-see at the Sunday Times Live. And I'm looking, I pulled a little bit from the Twitter feed. DA leader John Steenhuisen, this is what they said, has opened the door to a possible coalition, keyword coalition with the ANC, should there be a stalemate in 2024 elections. But only if President Cyril Ramaphosa is still leader. And there's the caption of John Steenhuisen, and it says, I'd work with Cyril, not David Mabuza Steenhuisen. Now, in what world would the DA, who has, I think, got a lot of pride and reputation to look after, and has such a diverse vision of actually uplifting and building the people of South Africa, in what world does Sunday Times think the DA would live in coalition? But at the same time, our good friend, Musi Maimani, Musmani Maihet, anyway, shouldn't, but he did. I usually keep quiet about our DA because I'm a gentleman. But I noticed that Jay Steenhuisen has mentioned my name in the Sunday Times article, and as such, I'm going to clarify matters. I suppose when you want attention, hey? But let's hear what his attention says. And I've added a couple little cartoon captions here because I don't think I can make them faces. But in 2019, the DA did not lose because of me, but because of John and Helen Ziller. Fuck me. I don't know where this man comes. They lost because of him. So one thing I must agree with old Musi. Let's start with a core issue South Africa must accept. There is no good ANC. But he says, and no bad ANC. We have seen corruption from both factions, and we have seen 27 years of mismanagement and misappropriation of state resources. I said this before, and I will say it again. It's the ANC. Of course it's the ANC. Who else is sitting with the state resources? Bloody hell. So boom, it's the ANC. I don't know if you fell over your own tongue. But how can you say there is no bad ANC? There is no good ANC. So, yeah, where's he leading this up to? But yes, today the DA is saying they are open to a coalition with some factions of the ANC as long as Cyril Ramaphosa is the president. They are officially out of opposition and are now themselves a faction of the ANC. What bullshit is this? It's an admission of defeat, a recognition that they can't grow. Where has the DA ever said it has been defeated? My money, get your facts straight, because I know that this channel is not a substantiated channel. Don't worry, down under, I'm only joking. But anyway, where do you get your facts from? Check them before you're going to make this kind of rash statement, because we'll get to it in the future now. The DA never, John Steenhuisen never mentioned coalition. He never mentioned coalition. So I don't know where this banana gets his words. I mean, really. And then they go, he's officially out of opposition and now themselves are a faction of the ANC. Where has the DA ever been a faction of the ANC? You can see the difference the DA makes when they actually put the money and the work towards the people in the country, and the ANC stuff their back pockets and leave their country to rot. Once again, I state that the ANC sees length of being in control and holding the reins as success. It doesn't matter if they've brought the country to its knees, burnt it to ashes, but ruling over the ashes to them is success because they've remained a ruling party. Not that they've built a stable, economic, well-thriving country. The DA, on the other hand, has a vision of a well-thriving, good, strong economic country that works together, thrives together, benefits together. Where is that the same? You can't even dream up this bullshit, Mani. Okay, let's get to his next part. To grow as a political party, you must be honest with the people about the history of this country. And this, as you can see, is coming from Mr. Musimani himself. This is his tweets. He's gave a long one. You can actually go and take a look under his tweets on Twitter. He gave a whole long tweet on this thing. To grow as a political party, you must be honest with the people about the history of this country. True. You've got to be honest with this country and accept the history, the good and the bad. And whether the bad is remembrance of how we shouldn't be and a remembrance of where we came from and what we have achieved is another thing as well. You know what? Ripping down statues, changing names, seeing how far we can piss compared to the rest of the people, and I don't want to mention it, is not going to change the fact about being honest about history. You can try and eliminate it. It's not a whiteboard. You can't clean it off. But there he says, privilege exists. We have to diversify the benches of parliament. We have to work on land equity and justice. How did this bullshitter ever get into the DA? As a leader, I can go to a university student. As a leader, I can't go to a university student and say there is no white privilege. Race is not a factor in South Africa. You can't. It would be lying to them, and they would call me out on my BS. I would be naive to think that voters were not looking at how diverse the DA, how diverse the DA in Parliament is, probably, or something like that. Please. The DA is probably the most diverse party in South Africa at the moment. Every other party only has their cronies and their color. The DA is the most diverse party in South Africa. Now, I know it sounds like I'm coming up hectically for the DA, but my goodness me, even the man in the street from the outside looking in can see a fact from a mile away. And how long are you going to hang on to white privilege strings? How many people have been born, black and white, have been born after 1994 and have not and have had privilege. What color have they been? Privilege is not a color. Privilege is a status. I'm not saying there hasn't been white privilege, but I'm also not saying there hasn't been black privilege. Yes, there has been in apartheid era, but it's about bloody time you get over it now. You cannot plow backwards. Angus Buchan, the, what do you call him, missionary evangelist, etc., he once said a very, very true thing. He said, you know what, when you're plowing your field, you need to plow straight. You can't afford to draw lines. Those fields need to go straight. The only way you can draw a straight line when you're plowing your field is to look where you're going and drive on those little furrows and those lines to go straight. It says, because the minute you look back, you swerve and you start making curves and not drawing a straight line anymore. You can't look back to make a correct future, to go forward. You can't look back. Mr. Maimane, you are insistent on looking back. Your field is full of curves and dents. The reason the DA lost is you, because with no good conscience could you lead a party properly, and not with that attitude either. But let's take a look further. He says, consider what is one thing that Joe Biden has tried with all of his cabinet appointments. He has tried to have diverse representation. The reason why he has done that is because it is important to voters and sends a message that is inclusive and working for all. Joe Biden doesn't know that he's working, man. He knows he's got a colored vice president of color who rings that little man. I mean, if you just take a look at the piece I've putting there, it's time to heal a nation divided by racism, so I'll hand you over to this little brown girl while I go for a lie down. And that's the story of Joe Biden. You know what? He doesn't have time. He's like knacked on Black Lives Matter and everything. He's an absolute puppet on a string. He has no idea of what's happening around him. Dementia's kicking in. He's an absolute old fart. So Musi Maimane, John and Helen do not care about fixing the problems of this nation, although they have fixed problems wherever they have been in charge, wherever they've taken on, wherever. I don't think, look, the ANC has absolutely ripped the gullet out of South Africa, but I think they would have taken the whole carcass if the DA wasn't there to check them. They care about the Western Cape and maintaining power there. They've given up on the national project and are now going back to the historic voters of the party and abandoning the rest. It's obvious. But the historic voters of the DA have always been diverse voters. DA emanates from the PFP, Helen Suzman, those guys. And they've always fought for black rights and a diverse, integrated South Africa. Once again, as I've just said at the start of this program, it's people like you that tend to divide the nation because you keep on rubbing it in. Constant, constant, constant. You have nothing to fall back on. So what happens? Bam. Race card. So let's take a look at the DA. The DA turns to press ombuds, crying foul over the report that Steenhuisen is open to a coalition with ANC. Yeah, he's pretty pissed. I would be too. But then again, when has mainstream media ever had anything decent to say or backed the DA properly? They're happy to reap the benefits from the DA, but they're not happy to push with them. They've got to do this other ANC kiss-ass bullshit. But anyway, John Steenhuisen's expression of willingness to cooperate with the ANC does not signify a change in the DA's position, the party's chief whip, Natasha Mazzone, said. And that woman, I don't look like I'd like to with her. But yeah, Mazzone on Monday filed a complaint with the press ombudsman about 2 alleged inaccuracies in a Sunday Times story. The one that we've just spoken about, and the one that Musi Maimane found his name lying around somewhere, I don't know how, but yeah, and he decided to lay his little rotten egg. Several party members have also slammed the paper for what they said was a twisting of Steenhuisen's words. Mainstream media. This is simply not true. Not only has the DA under Steenhuisen's leadership repeatedly extended a hand across the aisle to whichever reformers remain in the ANC, this has also been the consistent position of the previous DA federal leader, Musi Maimane, who often spoke of building a new majority by cooperating with those in the ANC who shared the DA's values and visions for South Africa. So, okay, that's where Maimane's hand or name drops out and where he decides to lay his golden egg. But yes, the DA has never said, "Oi, you on your side, me on my side." They said, "Look, you know what? If you feel the same way, if you share my vision in building a new majority, cooperating South Africa together, by all means." And apparently, that is what Musi Maimane professed to have been wanting when he was in the DA, to share the DA's values. And the DA is happy to say, "You know what, Mr. ANC member, if you are not happy and your mission is to share our vision, here's a hand. There's an olive branch." No one said, "I'm going to work in collision with you." You're on a collision course if you think so. Mazzone also said the opening sentence of the article, which was based on an interview with Steenhuisen himself, sought to create the impression that the DA was open to a collision agreement with the ANC. And once again, mainstream media twisting and nailing. I mean, can they not be fair ever? I mean, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So can they not be fair? Mazzone said that the party transcribed the hour-long interview and found that Steenhuisen never, listen, never, not possibly, never mentioned the word coalition. This was never stated in an interview and is misrepresentation of the DA's position of the issue she wrote. Now, I know I go through the news and mainstream media and that, but once again, you know what? I'm not going to agree with mainstream media all the time because mainstream media has a one-track mind down the toilet with the ANC. The Sunday Times wrote, DA leader John Steenhuisen has opened the door to a possible coalition with the ANC should there be a stalemate in the 2024 elections, but only if President Cyril Ramaphosa is still its leader. Mazzone, who posted a link to the recording with the DA's online statement, said, when he, which is Steenhuisen she's referring to, spoke of the possibility of working together with the ANC, he didn't mention coalitions. Okay, that was something that was planted by mainstream media. He spoke of reaching out to the reformers in the party who are in favor of pro-growth agenda and seeking their support in backing a reform agenda when tabled in Parliament. Now, that is a totally different thing, even in my little mind, where I'm from the outside looking in, not a learned, not a professional, but that says to me, buddy, if you have the same vision or if you're wanting the same goal or vision that I'm wanting, you know what, support and back us. She said this wasn't the same as a coalition. I agree. But yet, so it shall be. I'm going to leave that one there. But let's take a look at the next step. Cabinet has approved, and this is on News 24, Cabinet has approved a proposal to nominate the contingent of Cuban doctors, our very expensive doctors from Cuba who were deployed in the country and other parts of the world to help fight COVID-19 for the Nobel Peace Prize. Here we go, nicely flown in by SAA, the Cuban doctors that they important. So SA nominate Cuban doctors for Nobel Peace Prize for helping in the fight in the fight. The cabinet has approved the proposal to nominate the contingent of Cuban doctors who were deployed in the country and other parts of the world. I'm not saying they didn't do a good job. I'm just saying, was it necessary that they came? And second, is it necessary and is it right that they get nominated for a Nobel Prize? Because, yeah. Okay, let me not be nasty now. But you know my thoughts on what I was going to say. I just looked at the picture and went, okay. Durko Minister Naledi Pandor is disgusted. Now, that word sickens me. Disgusted. Really? Really? Disappointed, disagrees with, disgusted. Really, that's a pathetic word. It's really when you, but anyway. Naledi Pandor is disgusted by the whinging and whining about the Cuban Medical Brigade. Of course. Bloody communists that support South Africa, or the ANC, because they don't support South Africa, they put the demise of South Africa and get what they can off there, because they were the ones that sent that whole bunch of steroid medicine that's not allowed for COVID, that the military snuck through and is now in big, deep shit about. But anyway, she said cabinet decided to nominate them for the Nobel Peace Prize in the spirit of international solidarity. Opposition MPs questioned why they didn't nominate the South African medical staff instead. Your own people. Blood, sweat, and tears that they gave to COVID, to working 24/7 for COVID. But you push them out of the way because you need to kiss the ass of a Cuban. I'm not saying the Cubans didn't work hard. I'm not saying they didn't do a good job. What I'm saying is your own people, your own medical staff didn't even consider. Thanks, we're boys. Cubans, we're going to give you something there. You're more special. Let's take a look there. Opposition MPs, members of parliament, generally thanked the Cuban Medical Brigade for their contribution, fair, but questioned why the government brought them in at great cost, while South African medical staff are unemployed. We have a 40% unemployment rate in South Africa, of which there are medical staff in that unemployment rate, of which can be used and can be utilized within our medical ranks if we have the positions therefore, yet we choose to pay dearly millions and billions of rands for Cuban medical staff to come. What do we owe Cuba? I don't think our state capture is over yet. We had the Guptas and we have Cuba. We need to get rid of the other one now too as well. But we can't because we have ANC kissing Cuban butt. Government's decision to nominate the Cubans for a Nobel Peace Prize announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa last month was also criticized. Opposition MPs lauded South African medical staff and questioned why they weren't nominated. Did they not work hard enough? Were they not good enough? Did they not cost enough? I ask you with tears in my eyes. That is the biggest slap in the face that I've ever seen the government give to citizens who have bled over this COVID for this country. I agree. The DA MP Lindy Wilson said she was unaware of any members of the Cuban Medical Brigade dying due to COVID-19, but many South African medical personnel did. I don't know, the government probably sees them as expendable. How much more evidence do we need that the lives of South Africans mean nothing to this ANC government? Just shows you, yeah, you got the Cubans in, you'll nominate them for a prize, you'll pay dearly for them, you'll leave our medical staff unemployed, and then those who did bleed for us, you brush them off like it's a used cigarette butt. And don't tell NDZ that. She'll have a quiet shit if she hears me talking about cigarette butts. At the start of her speech, Pandor said she was disgusted by the whinging and whining, while people should be thankful for the support. What support? You paid them. It's not like they came as a peacekeeping unit or whatever. You threw money at them. You're missing vaccine payment dates and that. But You paid Cuban doctors so that they could fill the ranks of the unemployed medical staff in South Africa. Not the Cuban doctors' fault, your fault. She acknowledged that the Cubans did not distract from the immense gratitude to the South African medical staff. Now that we have benefited, we cannot suddenly throw back the generosity, she said. No one's throwing generosity back. Thank you. You were paid for it. You were thanked for it. Nominating the Cubans, a decision took by cabinet, is in the spirit of international solidarity. No, it's in the spirit of kissing the Cubans' ass. The Republic of Cuba has been a vital embodiment of humanism and international solidarity since the triumph of the Cuban Revolution in 1963. Once again, in the middle and in the midst of COVID and medical and goodness knows what, we are going into race battles, really. What a load of bullshit. Jubes! Uncle Jube now, huh? He's turning 40. A lavish dinner, a star performance, and well wishes for Juju on his 40th. So, Juju, you look so colonial with his handkerchief. And the setting is colonial. You take a look at them windows, little silver tray. Just move this away there. The little silver tray with the wine glass water or the champagne glass water. The colonial chair, dressed in colonial suit. What happened to anti-colonialism? Roads must fall. It's too colonial. Roads must fall. Look at the other one. All roads lead to colonialization of the mind. Your mind doesn't wander, does it, Juju? It just totally fucks off, doesn't it? Because my goodness me. Let's take a look. Bubbly and laughter. Bubbly. Champagne. Shouldn't you be drinking goat's juice? But anyway, bubbly and laughter was the mandate on the Tuesday as the EFF celebrated its leader Julius Malema's 40th birthday. Malema's lavish-looking soiree was attended by some of his party members, including Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, Floyd Shivambu, Dali Mpofu, and Ringo Madlingozi, who performed at the event. Of course, spare no cost. And let's take a look. The dress, the table, the chairs, the decor. What don't these people like about colonialism again? Oh, the fact that it comes from the past, but you're pushing it into your future there. The chairs are colonial. The decoration is colonial. Your dress is colonial. The candles, everything is colonial there, buddy. What the hell are we doing? That's not even modern. It's colonial. Bubbly and laughter. Good grief. It's the eve of the CIC, Chief in Charge. Julius Malema's birthday, the EFF leadership broke bread on celebration of his 40-year-old journey dedicated to serving black people. It's a pity you don't serve the whole nation, but there you go. A teddy bear's picnic. As colonial as can be. Look at the cake. At least the cake's black, eh? Yeah. No, we can't have that white icing on the cake. Make it black. But anyway, colonial. Now, as we were singing God Save the Queen there, I agree. This is what I wrote. Nothing remotely traditional at this party at all. All colonial, posh and bling. And the candles there. So why don't you like colonialism again, Juju? Why? Smart watch, expenses. That bank scandal. There's old non-colonial Juju. Take a look at those seats in the background. The blinds, the wall units, the curtains, the carpet. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm living in a colonial world because I am a colonial boy. Juju, I'm living. Yeah, right. Wanker. Okay, so I have a little video. It's New York Post. It's not mine. I've never claimed to have any rights or ownership on any of these items or material that I use. Just need to actually stop sharing quickly, and I need to share this with sound. Otherwise, we are going to have a little bubble and squeak. Bring it in there. Okay, Coca-Cola. A little bit of diversity there. Let's take a look what they say. Confront racism. Understanding. Be less white. To be less oppressive, less arrogant, less certain, less defensive. These are the slides from the diversity training. It came on, not Twitter, but these are on shout outs on Twitter. In the US and other West nations, white people, we've got to there, try to be less white. This is the lady that posted it. It came from LinkedIn course. The course has been pulled from LinkedIn. And they say it's written by Robin DiAngelo. But yeah, Coca-Cola denies the training was mandatory. Okay, let's just move on before we... Next, right. Let me get me face back in here again. Bah. There we go. Coca-Cola's diversity training. You saw a couple of slides there quickly. I do have a little bit more here as well. That urged the workers to be less white. Where did this come from? No, it wasn't a training course. I at one stage thought Coca-Cola put out an ad that said, "Ooh, yeah, drink a Coke, be less white." And I thought, what the hell? You know what? Balls, guys, you got balls. But anyway, no, apparently this was on a LinkedIn training course. And it was a diversity training course. And apparently Coca-Cola say it was not mandatory for all their employees to do it, but apparently it is said otherwise. However, it was in a training course where it was urged that they need to be less white. Now I ask you with tears in my muddy green eyes, how mad has the world gone that we've actually gone training to be less white? Coca-Cola employees were urged to be less white as part of the company's alleged diversity training. So it was a training course that has been put on LinkedIn and that Coca-Cola brought on as part of their training. As they say, apparently non-mandatory, but otherwise argued. But so it wasn't an advertisement, it wasn't a statement, it was in a training course. And this one Twitter user or whistleblower lady, you know what, good on you for doing it, by the way, put it out there and said, yeah, take a look at these slides. Those are pictures from and I think I've got a few here as well, that say, this is what's on the training, guys. This is madness. But anyway, but the material was yanked offline following a viral whistleblower post. Yeah, so the confronting racism course. So it's confronting racism. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but racism means if you are derogatory or being unfair or whatever between a culture, a color, a race, racism. You could be between black and white, white and black, Indian and white, Indian and black, colored and white, colored and black. Why, when they speak of racism, is it white on black? Just a question, because now confronting racism, fine, have the course confronting racism, but then have it on racism, not on propagated black and white. So confronting racism course in question was offered by LinkedIn Education and allegedly utilized by the soft drink titan. So it was a course apparently on LinkedIn. So you know what, on you LinkedIn, but yeah, and on you Coca-Cola for using it. Because surely you've got freaking training departments, HR departments that actually revise. I mean, I used to work in a training department and an HR department, and anything that had to go through to the workers or the staff or employees or anything like that, training courses, etc., were scrutinized heavily and taken a look at and adapted and made sure that it was in their best interests and that we were looking at all staff and actually it was uplifting. I don't see how this is uplifting to your staff whatsoever. In the US and the other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel that they are inherently superior because they are white, reads one of the slides. So basically, the slide says Western nations in the US, white people are raised to feel superior because they're white. No other race is raised to feel superior. White people. How does that come on? Just a question. So if you're white, you're raised to feel superior. Nowhere else you are raised to feel superior. No other arrogant arsehole is raised to feel superior. Now, I have seen many arrogant white arseholes. Make no mistake of it. But I've also seen black arseholes. I've also seen Indian arseholes. I've also seen Chinese arseholes. I've also seen colored arseholes. I have seen arseholes of every color who think they are superior, who have a chip on their shoulder, who've got an attitude that stinks. How dare they generalize? I mean, for a company as big as Coca-Cola to let this through to their employees is just ridiculous. It's pathetic. I mean, who are these people that are letting this type of training through? I mean, what a bunch of wankers. So this is alleged sent from an internal whistleblower and posted on Twitter by YouTube commentator Carolyn Borisenko. We did see the lady there earlier on. Okay, let me just get it there. So another slide suggests try to be less white. This is there. There's your subject. There's your Coca-Cola logo at the top. Bam. It's your subjects and software. This is your training course. It's your overview, your Q&A, notebook, transcript, etc., etc. And it says, try to be less white. Fuck you. But anyway. Be less oppressive. Be less arrogant. Be less certain. Be less defensive. Be less ignorant. Be more humble. Listen. Believe. Break with apathy. Break with white solidarity. You know what? I have a lot of integrity in me, and I do believe I am probably more empathetic and sympathetic than what most tough guys should be. And I would probably see myself as more, I would be caught for a sucker more easily than what many guys would be because I'm more empathetic. But be less oppressive. I don't believe I am an oppressive person. I don't believe, I know many people. I have a friend who I know is less oppressive. Arrogant? I know many white people who are arrogant. I know many black people who are arrogant. Be less certain. Isn't that part of being confident, to be certain? Isn't that what we should teach our children? Isn't that what every child should be, is to be certain? Defensive? Defensive is only when you know you're wrong. Ignorant? I wonder who is ignorant. We've got an ignorant government, and they're not white at all. Be more humble. Why? I agree, don't be arrogant. Be humble. But why must you, what makes you think that a white person is not humble? Now, I have to go and see people to actually make myself a little bit stronger. I am always feeling a little bit, less than the other. I'm always feeling second. I try and put people first. I've just got to the point, and a friend posted on Facebook the other day, and I saw it, and I think, you know what? Good on you. I don't want to mention your name because maybe you don't want to mention, but still, posted a post that said, you know what? This be the lesser person is a load of bullshit. You know what? When silence is called for and no longer needed to be wasted on trash, don't waste it on there. But don't accept something where you are right. Agreed. Be more humble. Listen. People listen. But are you being listened to? So, I'm not going to shut up. You know what, this being the better person, keep quiet, just so people can bully and walk all over you, is also an end. You as long as you know you're right. A friend of mine from South Africa, one day we were chatting, and he said, you know what, Andre? He said, you don't always need to be liked, as long as you know you're right. Believe. If If you're white, you don't believe. Break with apathy. Break with white solidarity. But everybody else can solidarity. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but what I'm saying is, isn't it solidarity? Break with solidarity. Break with race solidarity. Break with class solidarity. Break with religious solidarity. What do they want to break with? No, white solidarity. Not good at all. D'Angelo, meanwhile, insists she was unaware she was featured in this course. And by the way, the course is presented by her. This course is presented. Really? Really? It's presented by me? Yeah. The slides included were not created by Dr. D'Angelo, said her rep, Caitlin Mayer. Coca-Cola denied that the training was mandatory for employees, Newsweek reported, but Borisenko told the outlet that multiple workers said it was, in fact, required. Confronting racism, another one of the slides. Understanding what it means to be white is what it means to be human. What it means to be white. Challenging what it means to be racist. Understand what it means to be white. Challenging what it means to be racist. Just by them saying white already makes these people racist, because they're wanting to confront racism by already making a demographic of white. I've never seen such immature, adolescent propaganda. In the US, another one, these are two slides as well. In the US and other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel that they are inherently superior because they are white. These are actual pictures of the slide in the training. Research shows by the age 3 to 4, children understand that it is better to be white. Another one, try to be less white. I'm not saying that there are people that do teach their children that. And there are white people that do teach their children that. I'm not saying that it's not so. But you are now generalizing and saying all white people. I know black people who are taught that whites are just bad, are just the enemy. I know white people that taught that living in diversity is the most beneficial thing to them. I have seen children are actually the most innocent that I've ever seen. They play with each other. They don't see what the leaders are busy creating, problematically creating. Children are probably the most innocent because they accept each other as they are. But no, 3 to 4, a child understands that it's better to be white. Where do they come on that? Some people do teach their children that. White people, black people, Indian people, colored people, Chinese people. Some people are taught arrogant, but where do they come to that? I had to throw this in, sorry. Every other company, Black Lives Matter, and then there's Listerine. Yeah, guys, yeah. I chuckle. I don't know if we are going to be doing Tweet Beat today because I've already taken up more time than what I want to take up. But yeah, it has been good as usual. We'll do some Tweet Beat next week, taking a look at the millions that Cyril and them are trying to pull back from Eskom, who's grabbed what? I can actually share it. I've got 5 minutes. No one really watches this part, so what I'll do is I'll actually bring them up next week again. Guys, for those of you watching, thank you very, very much for watching. It is most appreciated. Really, I keep on forgetting these banners. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget it, guys. And if you have anything that you would like to comment on, please do it in the comments while we're live. Otherwise, please drop us a line at peppersecho, PEPRSECHO @gmail.com. Don't forget to take a look at the guys. Ronaldo Host, Chris Wyatt, Germ from Germ Warfare, Joe Emilio, and of course, last but not least, really good every day at 7 o'clock in the morning, Morning Shot, Roman Kabanak. I don't know if I've said that right. Sorry, Roman, if I haven't. And then please like and subscribe to Pepper's Echo, and please drop in any suggestions that you have. And if you'd like to come on the show, please do so. Talking about coming on the show, just to give you an update, I have asked Ronaldo to come on the show. He did ask me to send him week before last a mail early, but I know he took the week off, so I did not send to him. I sent to him last week, though. I think Monday or Tuesday I did send a mail. I have not heard back from him yet. Fingers crossed. He did say he would, so it would be absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. I have a real large amount of time for that man. Maybe I don't agree with him all the time, but you know what? It's a person who you can disagree with if you feel that you need to. There's no hard feelings or anything like that, but I do believe that the majority of the time and the way he sees things has changed sometimes a couple of my views, and I'm open for change in views. So if, once again, as I say, if anybody has a view that they want to express, please do so. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for joining me on the live echo. Take care. Be good. You can't be good. Be kind.